Do you feel it? There's a stirring in my Wildwood. Now sure, there always has been. It's likely the best method by which to play Briar in Commoner. But now with all the new lightning support out of Rosetta, that stirring is even faster, and our Wildwood can get bigger than ever.
A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando.
Hey there, my flesh and blood friends. Welcome back to the channel for another installment of Dice Commando. That's right, our Commoner format series here. Today we're doing a revisit on Briar. So Briar in Commoner hasn't changed a whole lot really since, Tales of Aria. She's picked up a couple cards here and there. But with Rosetta, oh boy. So not only did she benefit from all of the generic Runeblade stuff that dropped, which like High Note's pretty relevant, the whole Dirge package, all the new stuff there, but she also is Earth Lightning, which means that she benefited from basically everything. Now, to be fair, mostly in this update today, you're going to see mostly just the lightning stuff coming out of really Aurora's, not only just Rosetta, actually First Strike as well. So you're going to see most of that get worked in. Now, obviously the joke coming in was Wildwood and all the puns around that, but stirring the Wildwood was really the go tall Briar was the best way to play her really in Commoner for basically ever. And stirring the Wildwood does remain in here, but with all the new lightning stuff, we actually have a great opportunity to kind of go wider with utilizing the cussing package. We can also do things and make more lightning or embodiment of lightning tokens. And we also have a lot more fuse cards. And one of the big pulls she had, honestly, is Sizzle. So Sizzle is +3 to lightning or elemental. Now, do keep in mind, does not work with Rosetta. Rosetta Thorn is not an elemental. Okay, so do keep that in mind. It's very easy to fall into that trap because we get used to using it with Starfall. And to be fair, you could use Starfall in here, but you're going to use Rosetta because that 2 and 2 is pretty darn good. So you have something like Sizzle now, which not only gives you effectively another like Nimbleism-esque thing, but it's also fusible. So we can finally bring back in a card like Entwine Lightning, which was really hard to use previously because you just didn't, especially in Commoner, you didn't have enough really solid, consistent lightning fuse targets. So the only way to get great advantage out of this was to really just kind of hope that you could do an embodiment of lightning and get that. So let's go ahead on over to the deck and we'll talk through this as we go, obviously. So we, with the banning of Aether Ironweave, everybody in the Runeblade world moved over to Bodus. Makes sense. So Bodus is a little harder to use with Briar as opposed to Chane, who just poops them out willy-nilly and then can make money and actually, right, you get it. So what we're doing here for Bodus is it enables us to play cussing. So cussing, of course, is if it doesn't leave on your turn, you don't get the bonus. So costs you 1, comes down, you'd pop Bodus to backfill it, right? And that's if you don't have the cussing dirge thing, right? So we're playing 2 copies of cussing, and it's meant to be played with Bodus. You can Bodus an embodiment of lightning to get a Rosetta swing if you need, or of Earth. You'd want to use Earth to do the Rosetta swing if you need it. But overall, you're really trying to use it with cussing. Now, Flash of Brilliance is only in here just because it's a lightning head, and it's a gorgeous card. And Sarah hooked me up with a cold foil, so I'm playing it on this one. But it's Blade Break 1, defends 1, but it's functionally no different than really any other hat you'd be playing. Rosetta Thorn, of course. Runehold Release is the one of choice here because then again, you can create an aura if you need for Dirge or something like that. Okay. Now, Briar doesn't have any lack of auras that she can create again, embodiment of both. But lightning you're going to want to use offensively on your turn, so you're probably not wanting to blow that up in most cases. And Earth, generally you want it to stick around so you can get extra value on your turn, on your opponent's turn. Okay, so like I said, we have 2 cussings. Shockwave is in here. This one's just functionally good. Again, now that we have more lightning targets, more lightning fuse targets, this one actually becomes better. It was in there before. You didn't get the 1 fuse very often, especially in Commoner. But now we have several more lightning. Bramble Spark is in here. Bramble Spark's obviously meant to be paired with, that's right, the All-Star, which is stirring my Wildwood, right? So if you've dealt Arcane, comes at +2. Remember that when you fuse, unfortunately this is not Earth, right? Which is probably okay. But Bramble Spark will come in, attaches the 1 to this. So they have to be able to block that, otherwise this gets +2. And if you were able to fuse this, this also gets +2. So Stir with my Wildwood can come in for a potential of 9 off of 2. And if you're doing it right, it's coming in with a Go Again with a Rosetta on the back. Pretty good. We're also playing Come to Fight. So this is a 1-drop for sure, but it also defends 3. Pretty nice to be able to defend 4 with an embodiment of Earth out there. We do have Dirge, as I mentioned, 2 copies of that. Now we're on red-blue Earthlore Surge. Not only are these Earth Fused targets, but they're like really good and they work on any attack action, right? So if you look at the number of attack actions we have, Scar, Rabble, Entwined Lightning, stuff like that, you can still Surge on it. So you do like a Nimblism, a Surge, you come in for a buttload off of a 4 with Go Again because you've created your embodiment of Lightning, and then off of a blue pitch you have Rosetta on the back, which is pretty good. We also have High Notes. Functionally, we didn't really ever used to play Shrill in Briar. You could, but by and large, you wanted to stay more low profile. But High Notes really kind of scratches that itch because it gives you the Shrill bonus, but it's only a 1. That way it can also work with Nimblism, right? So that's pretty good. Lightning Surge, again, Lightning Fused target from Arsenal goes. Great card. Nimblism, Rabble, Scar. 2 Sizzles. Like I said, this has changed so much in this game. Do keep in mind, though, that you have to be careful that you're playing it on an elemental card. And that's, again, why Entwined Lightning coming back actually makes more sense. So your targets for this really are Shockwave, Entwine, Surge, Stirring, and, I mean, that's basically it. You're probably not wanting to use that off of like an Autumn's Touch or a Heaven's Claws. By the way, we do have Touch and Claws, both of which are serving the blue, block 3, and fuse, which is good. Now, I also have Strong Yield in here. This is because we did need 1 more blue. This one's really just Earth fusible as well. And then we go to a card which I believe is highly underrated within the commoner format, and that's Vigor Rush. So yes, this is a 1 cost, but it is 4. So what you can do is you can Nimblism into this, and this will come in for 1/7 with Go Again, play another non-attack, and then you have your embodiment, can play your other 0/4. Vigor Rush really enables some pretty cool things. Generally, I find that you want to have Vigor Rush in Arsenal and try and set up kind of that wide thing. However, another card that you're going to be keeping in Arsenal, if we're being honest, is Dirge. Or Cussing, I suppose, to the other side. But probably with Cussing, you're going to want to get that out bow to sit and put on more pressure. So having Dirge in your arsenal for when you draw the other Cussing, keep in mind that Cussing Dirge will create you an embodiment of Lightning token. So you'll come in with 6 with a Go Again, and you've got 2 floating at that point, assuming, of course, you pitched a blue, which would be the goal. So the only real trap to this deck, as I mentioned, is with Sizzle. You do have to make sure that you want to make sure you're going to get your bonus, because you don't have, again, that Starfall advantage like Aurora has to where it can always suck up that. You do have to make sure that it pairs up with an elemental attack or a lightning attack, right? You get the idea. So just be careful on that one. By the way, just a reminder, also works on Stir, right? Also works on Stir, because it's not like Nimblism or Minnowism, right, where it's looking for certain conditions. It's just looking for elemental or lightning. So you can get pretty big Stir the Wildwood, and then you have the normal kind of more traditional Briar go wide. So anyway, enjoy this deck. Like I said, having revisited this with all of the new toys, you can see it didn't change a whole lot, but it just got better, because you can kind of go and revisit some of the slight inefficiencies that were there before that you made for Commoner. But now, well, let's just say it's a lot better. So enjoy. That'll be it today. Go Commando and go Commando.